This is Win News.
Tonight, Tasmanians head to functions, barbecues and beaches to celebrate Australia Day. A proud Tassie mum talks of her son's award for gallantry. And looters run riot in quake-devastated Haiti. Good evening, I'm John Rees. Tasmanians turned out in thousands today to take advantage of near-perfect weather for Australia Day. Young and old headed to special functions, barbecues and the beach. Politicians rubbed shoulders with the public as we all came together to celebrate our National Day.
The party started early for some breakfast on the boardwalk at Bellerive. Rousing up the Australian spirit, hey hey it's Saturday's John Blackman.
I think it's an ideal opportunity for people who probably pass each other in the street or live next door to each other to get out and be in the community.
Love community events like this. That's one of the special things about being Australian, that we do work together and stick together as communities.
They may be competitive in the election, but our politicians work together, outwitting a team of expert historians in the ultimate Australian quiz.
This is Australia Day.
Yeah.
This is something beyond politics and it's good fun.
It's just good to put rivalries aside and celebrate what it is to be Australian.
On the other side of the river at Kingston, a beach party.
There's people from all walks of life here and like I say, they all come down. It's one big family party on the beach.
A variety of things to do here, from beach sports to making sandcastles. In Sandy Bay, one of the world's longest running regattas, more than 150 years old. Also reason to celebrate for 96 people officially becoming citizens today.
We've been here for about 6 to 7 years and we feel like Australians already, you know, so it's a great place to be and it's just great to be recognised as a citizen finally.
Having a barbie, having a beer, there's plenty of ways to celebrate Australia Day. The weather may have taken a turn for the worse, but for those brave enough, the party continues tonight.
Whatever you decide to do,
it's the day many had been waiting for, the day they could officially become a citizen of the country they've grown to love. A ceremony in Launceston welcoming nearly 50 new residents from countries all over the world. The moment an important one to capture. Mayor Albert Van Zetten congratulated each new citizen and urged them not to forget their heritage as they settled into Australian life. And for Dr Neil Bose and his family, it was a very happy day. Dr Bose has been working in Launceston for over 2 years and says while day-to-day life may not change, he will feel differently.
We were permanent residents, so we really felt part of the country anyway, but it always makes, the feeling is different when you actually become a citizen.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Originally from Canada, the Bose family say they love the weather, but that's not the only thing that makes Australia so special.
The people, the friendliness of the Tasmanians especially, and the freedom of life in Australia.
And in Westbury, hundreds were celebrating their country roots at the Harveydale Rodeo. There were many events from bareback bronc riding to breakaway roping, but it was still the bull riding that was a favourite with most spectators.
I've liked the bull rides.
And as they should, the Australia Day celebrations look set to continue on through the day.
Maybe go around to a few friends' house for a barbecue later tonight.
Because you can't get more Aussie than a sausage in bread.
The biggest day of the year for the Latrobe region. The Henley-on-Mersey attracts thousands to its Australia Day celebrations, and today was no exception.
This is the 99th running of the Henley-on-Mersey, so obviously next year being our centenary, we're very pleased with the range of events and the people who've come out to support. It's been terrific.
Australiana by the ute load. There was wood chopping, sheaf tossing, a bushman's merry-go-round, whip cracking and spud picking, with belly dancing adding some multicultural spice. And an added nautical theme this year. On the Mersey, watercraft were on display. Some were things of beauty, some not. And a chance for some locals to share their talent. And a Henley-on-Mersey tradition, ferrets win the day for some.
They're very playful and they're also very affectionate. They're just highly entertaining, and yeah, because they're a little bit unusual as well.
And the competition was hot in the ring, the Premier taking on the Mayor in a state versus local government challenge. No prize for guessing the winner. Stephen Pink, Win News.
The latest Australian of the Year has denied he was attacking the federal government with his comments on asylum seekers straight after receiving the top honour. Victorian mental health expert Professor Patrick McGorry says he can't understand what all the fuss is about.
The Australian of the Year 2010 is Professor Patrick McGorry.
Professor McGorry was clearly delighted to receive the honour, which acknowledged his work in helping children with mental issues. But his comments a short time later on detention centres sounded like he was biting the hand that awarded him.
In fact, the detention centres were, you could almost describe them as factories for producing mental illness.
Today, the psychiatrist said his criticism only applied to previous governments.
What I said was the government is doing an excellent job in digging us out of a hole which we had got ourselves into with successive governments over the last 15 years.
Many of those who received Australia Day honours are household names, none more so than the Wiggles.
Never thought I'd be receiving an OA, so it's been a pretty amazing adventure that we've had as the Wiggles.
Former Test cricketer Matthew Hayden says this is his highest achievement.
This award, in a very individual way, is definitely the highest honours that I've been able to achieve.
While Order of Australia recipient Ray Martin says he prefers to hear about the unsung heroes.
I kind of like the Australian honour system that gives awards to unknown Australians, ordinary Australians who do extraordinary things. That's not me, but I kind of like that system.
Professor Bob Jones has done some extraordinary things, performing Victoria's first liver transplant among them.
This is clearly the best reward I've had, and it's always slightly worrying because it's the sort of thing you give someone when they're about to retire, and I've just told everyone I don't want to retire yet, so...
And countless thousands of people have been entertained by volunteer musician Joe Hopkins and his group, the Monash Airs. While he says he's humbled to receive an Australia Day honour, it's the reaction of audiences which strikes the right chord with him.
Sometimes they sing, sometimes they clap, sometimes they cry, or sometimes they come up to you after the concert and they'll say to you, that song was played at my wedding, or something like that.
Oh, Danny boy. An Australia Day local hero who's not quite unsung. Brett McLeod, 9 News.
24 Tasmanians have been recognised in the Australia Day honours, among them a former Premier and a volunteer caring for kids with cancer.
He led in opposition and eventually led Tasmania, Liberal Premier from 1992 to 96. Ray Groom has worked with a number of charities since retiring from state politics.
And I'm really mindful of all the people who've helped me, who've given me encouragement and support over the years, especially my wife Jill.
Jeffrey Bendel bringing magic to the lives of children with cancer.
And then Mitch waves his hand over it and says the magic words, abracadabra, and you blow it, Mitch. Dabra, and it disappears.
Volunteering with Camp Quality for 13 years.
And I think more people who went out there and volunteered in the community, they'd be really surprised how good it feels.
And former Burnie Mayor Sandra French contributing in local government.
Felt most humble at the beginning of it, to think, well, what have I really done? It's really been part of my life and probably always will be.
Further afield, fighting alongside his mates in Afghanistan, Corporal Scott Tampolini is one of 3 recognised for their efforts during an intense firefight with insurgents in March, in which 21-year-old Corporal Matthew Hopkins was killed.
He's all part of it. All the guys are part of it that were there, and even wider, the guys that weren't, directly involved. They played their part.
We were extremely proud, but all he kept saying was, well, it wasn't just me, Mum. It was, it was a pretty hard time over there, and they all relied on each other.
An Australian Police Medal for Senior Constable Stephen Timmins, serving the Tasmanian community for close to 40 years.
To think that there's a policeman station at Lyowini, of all places, that can receive an honour like this, it's absolutely unbelievable.
Sonia Pascoe, Win News.
Prime Minister Kevin Rudd's nephew has been thrown out of the Melbourne Park Tennis Centre after a bizarre anti-racism protest. Van Tan Rudd and a friend dressed up in Ku Klux Klan outfits and hoped the stunt might attract his uncle's attention.
Confidence that he knows what we're talking about, and same with all other heads of state around the world and others in Australia as well.
The controversial artist was reacting to the recent spate of attacks on Indian students. The Prime Minister has refused to comment. And a protest on the steps of our Parliament House today. Aboriginal demonstrators marking today as Invasion Day.
Australian flags weren't the only ones flying today.
We won't stop! We won't go away! We won't celebrate Invasion Day!
Aboriginals against celebrating the day the British first stepped on Australian soil.
A day of waving the Australian flags, drinking lots of beer and totally ignoring the fact that Aboriginal people are mourning the loss of so many lives that were taken during the invasion of our land.
The Premier doesn't mind celebrating, and he's advancing Tasmania's forest industry, wanting to see Forestry Tasmania earn accreditation from the Forest Stewardship Council. The woodchip industry has been struggling in the economic downturn. David Bartlett says it's a move to meet market demands.
This is about protecting jobs, growing jobs and building jobs in the forest industry, and we will make that our number one goal. Accreditation is a pathway to that.
The opposition says the government and industry are caving into green groups.
Scaremongering, fear campaigns, they've taken it globally. Little surprise we're now starting to see the results of that.
The Greens say accreditation will transform the industry.
They will have to transition out of logging high conservation value forests, and the Tasmanian timber industry will look very different as a result.
Guns are also seeking FSC approval. Sonia Pascoe, Win News.
Ahead on Win News, looters run riot in quake-ravaged streets of Haiti, and the man known as Chemical Ali executed in Iraq.
The moment has arrived.
The grand finale of Superstars of Dance.
Can Australia emerge victorious from the world's premier dance competition?
Australia should be really rocking.
And be crowned the Superstars of Dance. The grand final, Wednesday 7:30 on Win.
Tired of wasting money seeing good food go bad? Plastic wrap is clumsy and only works for a few days. And finding the right lid for a plastic container, what a hassle. Now you can instantly vacuum seal and store any food and keep it fresher longer with the award-winning Keepies Vacuum Seal Lid, the original vacuum seal lid. So easy to use, just press and it's sealed. Look at these expensive strawberries, avocado dip and raspberries. After a few days with ordinary plastic wrap, spoiled rotten. But stored with Keepies, still garden fresh. Think of the money you'll save. Just press firmly over any size or shape container to force the air out. Keepies seals by vacuum to create an airtight seal for weeks. Then just pinch to release. It's so simple and effortless, kids and seniors too can easily use Keepies. Forget cheap lookalikes, Keepies really holds, guaranteed. The secret is a high-tech plastic barrier like that used in bulletproof glass, so each Keepies stays tough and vacuum tight for thousands of seals. Look how Keepies' powerful vacuum seal holds a 3.5 kilo watermelon. Amazing! Keepies resist tears, punctures and spills, and it's freezer, microwave and dishwasher safe. Keepies lids are stackable to save space and are airtight to keep leftover food, fruit and juices fresh. Just press to seal. Your leftovers will stay fresher too. Keepies lids save storage space and you can seal multiple dishes with just one Keepies. Order your award-winning Keepies vacuum lids today. You get an 88, 104, 152 and 216mm set of 4 for just $39.95 plus $14.95 postage. We're so confident you'll keep our original Keepies lids, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's right, a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call right now and we'll include an extra large lid valued at $19.95 absolutely free. Stop wasting expensive food. Call or log on now.
They're back.
Time for bed.
With a big bang.
Okay. Good night, beauty human.
New big bang coming soon to Win.
You're watching Win News. Fire crews are investigating a house fire in Prospect in the state's north. 4 fire crews were called to Brayside Street about 5 o'clock this afternoon and arrived to find the house billowing smoke. Smoke was clouding over the southern outlet as crews worked to contain the fire. The fire is believed to have started in the garage, and it's not known whether anyone was home at the time. Fireys are still at the scene. The investigation into missing millionaire Herman Rockefeller continues. Forensic police are analysing evidence gathered from the Toyota Prius, which was discovered in Ballin late yesterday. A local resident discovered the car parked on the side of a gravel road next to a paddock.
Looked inside, there's no signs of foul play whatsoever.
The wealthy property investor has been missing since Thursday night and was last seen leaving Melbourne Airport. There's a frightening view from Haiti today, where anarchy has seized parts of the devastated capital. Looters are running wild in the earthquake wreckage, and for now, there's no effort to stop them.
Right here in the smashed-up centre of Port-au-Prince, it's still every man for himself. The street that once bustled with markets is now teeming with looters who make no excuses for stealing food and other necessities.
Our house is crumbled. We are hungry, and there's nothing to do. We found this, we take it.
They crawl into dangerously unstable buildings, risking their lives and taking whatever they can. And while most overseas rescue teams have now left for home, these Mexicans are making up their own rules. This hard-working team is buoyed by the fact that they've already rescued 13 people, and they're still looking and digging every day.
We have been working here for 4 days. Not stop. Mexicans, we don't stop.
There was chaos at one aid base today. Soldiers couldn't control the desperate crowd. The strongest grabbed the bulk of the supplies, and the rest, well, they were left to scoop up what was left on the road. Robert Penfold, 9 News.
There are no survivors from an Ethiopian airliner which crashed into the Mediterranean. 90 passengers and crew were on the Boeing 737, which struck a severe storm and apparently exploded before plunging into the sea off Lebanon. A deadly 15 minutes in Iraq as a series of car bombs was set off near 3 Baghdad hotels. 37 people were killed in the attacks, which were staged by teams of suicide bombers. The Baghdad bombings coincided with the execution of Saddam Hussein's notorious enforcer Ali Hassan al-Majid. Known to the world as Chemical Ali, Majid ordered the murder of 5,000 Kurdish people in a poison gas attack on the town of Halabja in 1988. Majid's hanging comes 3 years since Saddam's execution. To Germany and Madame Tussauds Berlin House of Wax, where it was a case of Heidi, meet Heidi. Mother of 4, Heidi Klum was unveiling her brand new likeness at the museum. She says it was odd to confront the figure because the image was so exact. Sport now, and a crowd favourite continues her impressive comeback, Paul.
She has John advancing to the semis in Melbourne, and Korea trains in Hobart ahead of its test series against the Aussies.
Top Gear soon.
Every day we lose up to half a litre of water and nutrients from our skin.
That's why I take care of my skin every day with Vaseline Dry Skin Lotion.
Vaseline, Australia's best-selling dry skin lotion.
It's time to move up. Time to move up to a Honda Civic VTI at a down-to-earth price from just $23,990 drive away. To move up to a better Honda deal, move now to your local Honda dealer.
Property with passion. Fruit. Viva la Fresh.
You'd be amazed how much your carpet can hide. Don't hide it, fight it with Electra-Dry. Have 3 rooms dry clean for only $119. Call 1333 79.
Dry, Electra-Dry, Electra-Dry.
There's lights.
Then there's Lights and Lamps. Right in the heart of the CBD, Lights and Lamps are the experts when it comes to your lighting solutions. With an experienced team and a huge range of quality lights from contemporary, Federation, right through to commercial applications, Lights and Lamps are your one-stop lighting centre. Their experienced team can help you design a lighting plan for your new home or help you find that special fitting that makes your house a home. Lights and Lamps, your complete light shop. Victoria Street, just behind Spotlight, Centre Point.
For furniture and bedding, don't go past Room to Move.
We're a locally owned family business, still around after 20 years.
For consistent service, quality and value for money, Room to Move on Kennedy Drive between Cambridge and the Aerodrome.
Sadly, on our National Day, there are no Aussies left in the singles at the Australian Open. Leighton Hewitt and Sam Stosur are both eliminated in the fourth round. In men's action today, Andy Roddick and Marin Cilic are locked at 2 sets all, while Zheng Ji and Justine Henin are the first 2 women's semi-finalists.
Nadia Petrova came to prominence at this tournament when she obliterated Kim Clijsters in the third round. Today, Belgian pride was restored by Henin. Like Clijsters did at the US Open, Henin is aiming to win her first Grand Slam back from retirement, and you'd be brave to write her off. The roulettes turned players into spectators on Rod Laver Arena. Sharapova slayer Maria Kirilenko crashing out in the fourth round, Zheng Ji advancing in straight sets. Andy Roddick was down 2 sets to love against Marin Cilic and suffering from a shoulder injury before launching a rescue mission in the first of the men's quarters. Leighton Hewitt knows better than most when Roger Federer is on song, it's not so much tennis but art.
Oh, it's just a beautiful ballet.
Federer produced just about every weapon in his arsenal on his way to a 15th straight victory over Hewitt, all this despite a bad case of pre-match nerves.
Oh, you're kidding. You are kidding.
But I told myself I've got to be aggressive and go after my shots, and hopefully it's going to work. You know, it's not going to be a disaster.
It was a disastrous night for Australia. Sam Stosur bludgeoned out of the tournament by a ruthless Serena Williams. Chris Hodgkinson, 9 News.
Australia is bracing for a tough hit-out when they take on Korea in a 3-test hockey series in Hobart this week. Both teams using the matches as preparation for the World Cup to be held in India in March. The Kookaburras defeated Korea 4-0 in Melbourne last month on their way to a record 10th Champions Trophy titles. But Tasmanian squad member Eddie Ockenden is expecting the visitors to be at their best in Hobart.
I've never had an easy game against Korea since I started playing, and that's what we expect from them in these 3 games.
The local hockey star relishing the opportunity to wear the green and gold in front of friends and family.
I can't wait to play these games in Hobart. Ever since I've made the team, I dreamed about playing at home, so I'm really looking forward to it.
The first test will be at the Tasmanian Hockey Centre on Thursday night, with the final 2 tests to be played at the same venue over the weekend. From the pitch to the pool now, where the Tasmanian Open men's team has been defeated by Western Australia in the final of the National Underwater Hockey Titles. The 2 teams have dominated the event in recent years, with the home side expecting a tough encounter in today's gold medal match.
Both sides always lift, you know, knowing the history there and knowing how each other play, so it's anyone's game, but hopefully, yeah, we can bring our A game and sort them out.
But it wasn't to be, with WA winning 6-2 to claim the national crown. Better news for our under-19s, outscoring Victoria by 4 goals to clinch the Australian title. Imagine competing in an Olympics at only 15 years old. It's not fantasy for babyface Scott James. He's been called into the Australian team to replace an injured snowboarder for the Vancouver Games next month.
I'll be going for the gold, I'll try, but if I don't make it, I won't be bummed out because I've made it to the Olympics and that's been my goal for the past 2 years.
At 15 years and 176 days, Scott is Australia's youngest Olympian in 50 years. 7-time Formula One champion Michael Schumacher has unveiled the Mercedes Hill Drive in his attempt to win a record 8th title. It's no wonder Schumacher's confident he'll be able to compete when he'll pilot the World Championship winning Brawn repainted in the famous Silver Arrows colours. Australia has made an imposing total against Pakistan in the 3rd One-Day International in Adelaide. Ponting won the toss and made a duck. Clark and Marsh and Hussey were the headliners in an innings of 6 for 286.
On Australia Day, Watto and Shauno began cautiously before gathering momentum.
Nice shot. Don't bother running for that one.
Threatening to cut loose, Marsh almost cut Rana off at the ankle. Not long after, Watson played an impatient shot.
Bowl him, clean bowled him.
1 for 63. Ponting will be thinking, what was I thinking in the very next over?
Oh, that's close. Yes, he's got him.
The captain's recent form turnaround fleeting, while Pakistan's fielding remains consistent.
Couldn't hit a barn, but a handful of wheat.
Marsh, on the other hand, was hitting the ball sweetly to bring up his half-century.
Could well be 4. It is.
But on 83, Marsh strayed from home and was punished.
Has Sean Marsh gone? He has.
His pain, nothing compared to the besieged Pakistan captain, dropping Clark on 32.
A big moment, they could have had Clark walking back.
White wasn't so fortunate, playing for 28 off 31 balls.
Breathtaking delivery gets the wicket.
Clark made 50 without scoring a boundary. That had to change with the breaks on the run rate.
Oh, great shot from Clark.
Umar Gull also assisted in increasing Australia's run flow with a power play over, which included 3 no balls and 3 free hits, resulting in 23 runs.
There he goes this time. That's a big one.
Clark and Hussey buried Pakistan with a partnership of 80 off just 44 balls. Ken Sutcliffe, 9 News.
And that's it for sport, John.
Thanks, Paul. We'll have a look at the weather after the break.
When something soft and beautiful loses only 17% moisture, it becomes visibly rough. Dove deodorant keeps in 17% more of your underarm skin's vital moisture. No other deodorant leaves skin smoother. Dove deodorant.
Okay, Davo, see you soon. When things go pear-shaped, I want to talk to someone who knows what I'm going through. I really don't want to talk with someone in Melbourne. RACT Insurance is as local as my neighbour Bill, and they have people on the ground that know how to make things right. Davo, what kept you? And when I make a claim, I don't even have to fill out a form. I want home insurance that understands Tasmanians.
Solved with RACT Insurance. For your personal solution, visit your local branch or call 13 27 22.
Looking for a way to really grow your money? Give your cash some muscle with a MyState Financial term deposit. Check out the size of that rate. Talk to us today and get the right advice wherever you are in life.
Sweet onion chicken teriyaki on what?
A multigrain. Low-fat ham.
Roast beef.
Turkey.
Subway Club. Capsicum and jalapeno.
Sweet
chili sauce. Make it a Subway footlong. Roast chicken, no olives. Coke Zero.
And throw in a cookie.
Enjoy summer your way. Subway, eat fresh.
Man to man, we're liquidating all Alex Troy stock with wool blend suits $149, business shirts $10, tyres $10, trousers $20, and belts only $20. You'll look good at a hot price. Man to man, dressing men since 1981.
At Island Optical, Medibank Private MBF and St Luke's members with optical cover receive spectacles with low or no out-of-pocket expenses. Low or no out-of-pocket expenses on spectacles at Island Optical. That's right. If you have optical cover and are a member of Medibank Private, MBF or St Luke's, you can receive spectacles with low or no out-of-pocket expenses at Island Optical, Centrepoint, Hobart and the Quadrant, Launceston. Buy better elsewhere? I don't think so.
It's the Decorama Massive Clearance Sale. Get 10 to 50% off store-wide. Blockout prints, plain, decorator and upholstery fabric. Get 30 to 50% off. Ready-made curtains and blinds. Get 10 to 50% off. Wallpapers and borders. Get 50% off. Only at Decorama.
Cold front brought isolated light showers to the west and south of the state, but it was generally fine elsewhere. Strawn reached 17 degrees, much warmer in the northwest, 24 in Burnie and 27 in Devonport. Launceston produced an acceptable 25. On the east coast, St Helens enjoyed 28, Swansea 27, and in Hobart 25, the same as for Launceston. Cloud associated with a frontal band can be seen crossing Tasmania with low-level cloud under a ridge to the west. Today's chart shows the frontal band on the west coast this morning and crossing the state during the afternoon. Swells tomorrow, westerly in the north, southerly in the east to a metre, southwesterly between 3 and 4 metres in the west and south. Westerly winds mostly 10 to 20 knots about the south, elsewhere southwest to southeasterlies at similar speeds. A strong wind warning is current for eastern and southern coastal waters between St Helens Point and Low Rocky Point. A mainly fine day statewide tomorrow. 20 in Hobart after 9 degrees overnight. Touch cooler on the east coast, both Swansea and St Helens expecting a top of 19. In Launceston, a pleasant 23, down to 10 overnight. In the northwest, Devonport and Burnie looking to reach 20. A degree cooler in Strawn, 18. Interstate, a few showers possible later in Canberra, Sydney and Darwin, but fine in the other capitals. 33 in Perth and 34 in Brisbane. Looking ahead for us, it should be mainly fine in the northwest on Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Same for Launceston with top temperatures in the mid-20s. Hobart mainly fine too for those days, maximums ranging from 21 to 25. And that's Win News for this Australia Day. I'm John Remus. Good night.